I hope the knees not cooked. But
They
nah,
And
if
did
he,
they did
bro,
say
that
that.
might.
You know.
we are live. A little, you're catching us in a little open talk. That's new for us. We were talking about Victor Oladipo's knees, but this is the draft season podcast. We are back. It
Yo,
is.
Raz, hold on.
It
Nah,
is.
yo, your Victor Oladipo tweet is a classic, bro.
Oh, Victor, bro. Shout out to all right. So one of my friends that was the victim of the tweet, and I don't wanna step on her on the pod. She wasn't happy with me. You know when
You
that when
put her
that
in a
went
pack.
down. I did put her in the pack, but I didn't think y'all was gonna put her in the pack. That shit was funny to me. I didn't think Twitter was gonna find it funny. But shout out to Victor Oladipo, his R&B career and his basketball career. Hopefully, one of them gets revived this year. So we'll see what's up. Um, but this is the draft season podcast. This is your boy Young Raz coming live from where I often do, Queens, New York. I got my player partner with me, Sean 5K. Talk to him.
You already know, man. We back in the building. Second episode of the week. Paulie Pockets already in the chat. Victor old ass knees.
Hello,
Paulie
Sean.
Pockets, what's up, bro? Yo, we have a very special episode for you guys today. Got a couple. We got a roundtable, Knicks roundtable going on. Like I said, one of the I don't know if you guys know, but we got one of the best accounts on Knicks Twitter, NBA Twitter. One of my favorite. Like I said, we was talking about this earlier. His threads are like the morning news. You wake up, grab you a cup of Joe, whatever your morning vice might be. Checking with my man right here. We got Ariel Pacheco on the show. You can follow him on Twitter at A Pacheco NBA. Yo, Ariel, like I said, man, it's a pleasure. Been looking forward to chopping it up with you. Really enjoy your work, and thanks so much for hopping on with us tonight, bro.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you for the kind words. Way too kind, first of all. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. So like I said, we here to discuss, and we're gonna have the homie Sean on here with he'll be in the room shortly. So while we waiting for him, we'll just start you off, bro. Because like I said, your content is incredible, and it's a lot of work that goes into that. But for you at least, let's start you off because you are like obviously we deep into this Knicks fandom. So like as a Knicks fan on your own right, like what are your earliest just like sports memories, Nick memories? Like when did this, Raz? We talk about. You know what I'm saying? Just that fandom and a lot of like you said, Raz, long bad nights, reckless nights, a lot of 20-point leads blown, a lot of fourth quarter leads blown. But for you, when did the fandom for the Knicks really start for you?
For me, my like earliest memories, and you're probably gonna laugh at this, but my like earliest memories were like David Lee hitting like elbow jumpers, which I don't know why. I don't know why I started liking the game because of that. But yeah, I
Shout
just
out to
remember a
David
lot
Lee.
of David Lee. Yeah, it was a lot of
David
David
Lee's a
Lee
big
jumpers.
legend, man.
A lot of 20 and 10 games. I was probably like what 9, 10 ish, and I don't know. I think I just threw the TV on and it was on, and I just like basketball, so I was just watching it. And I don't know. Maybe if I would have turned on Yes first and it was a Nets game on, maybe I would have been a Nets fan. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. David Lee
I
is like my
doubt it.
earliest Nick memories, which is funny.
Because now, yeah, I don't like. That was an interesting time in Nick lore. Shout out to David Lee. He was the lone bright spot there, and he was kind of the catalyst of getting that team back to some type of relevancy. With shortly after that, we kind of abandoned him and went and got Amari and Melo, obviously, but. David Lee was kind of that foundation. He was that one lone bright spot through a lot of bad teams, man. And the elbow jump shot, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's something that has brought me to basketball too because I grew up on Kurt Thomas elbow jump shot. So it's just
Good comment.
it's full circle, bro. Like it's full circle.
We
That's
all
it.
got to shout out. You also got to shout out because those Knicks teams, like although they were like very crappy teams, like there was some ballers on those squads, bro. Like even like there's the random like 2010
Yeah.
Eddie Curry year, which like you, I think a lot of people just like X that out of their memory. But there was a year where Eddie Curry was just like automatic in the paint, and
Yeah.
I remember watching like it wasn't a damn thing you could have done with Eddie Curry. You also had like Zach Randolph on those teams,
Shout out
so
Zebo.
like
Zebo was on that
Yeah,
team. Jamal
he was
Crawford was
good.
electric on those teams. Like he's had a bunch of random players that didn't fit, which is fine. But I think the characters that we had in terms of coaching and front office made that experience way worse than it had to be. Players like coaches like Isaiah Thomas and Larry Brown. It's just things that didn't work that would have never worked and they shouldn't have worked. But the Nick way. Dolan is in charge, and I thought we were coming across a place of stability. from last year, but I don't want to step on any of the content we got for the rest of this episode. So let's get to the rundown, Sean.
I mean, woo! Now, Polly Pockets and shot. This is actually pretty interesting.
Shout
We
out
could
Polly
touch on
Pockets, man.
we could touch on this real quick. Yeah, that Oakley take was wild. Like I know I tweeted it, bro. Like he's out his damn cotton picking mind. If if he
I'm not gonna look. Oh, that's
I'm not gonna
that's a
say that to his.
5K statement. That's a
I'm not
5K
gonna say that to his
statement.
face. I'm not
Raz
gonna say
is
that to his
not
face.
involved in any of that.
No, would I say that to his face? Hell no. Hell no. How you doing, Mr. Oakley? Nothing. Pleasure to meet you. But nah, he's out of his damn mind if he think Giannis wouldn't dominate the 80s, the 90s. Like, bro, he's going through dudes, and he's just gonna follow out your team. So, like, yeah, these old heads got to get realistic, bro. Like, I understand respect to your eras, respect and nostalgia, all of that stuff. The the knee shorts, all of that respect. But yeah, man, that cat, like honestly, I don't even mind him going against like in general. But Giannis, nah, like Giannis is not one of the guys to put in that box.
Giannis killing anybody in any era. But we talked a little bit about Iverson pre-show, and like one of the things I love about Iverson now, AI, is that like he always shows love to this generation, and you saw that the All-Star break. Like that's one of the things I love about Iverson is just not even him as a player, but just like what he's done to the game. Like he's always been like an ambassador.
Yeah, I mean he's not scared to show love. It seems like all these other legends are scared to show love. It's going to tarnish their legacy. Like, nah, you did what you did for the game already. These players are pushing that forward. Like, there's no reason to hate on them.
Yeah, Oak mad because they got the same jumper, but Giannis winning with his. Now that's facts. But yes, sir, man, we got the king of Knicks Twitter in the building with us. My guy Sean. What's going on, my G? How you today, bro?
Well, that's an honor. First off, thank you so much. And I'm good, man. I'm good. No complaints. My bad for pulling up late. Thank you guys for having me.
Straight.
You know what I mean? It's an honor always. You guys are doing your thing. And I'm looking forward to the conversation. But I'm good, man. Can't complain. Solid day. A little tired, but I'm straight. How y'all feeling?
We're good, man. We saw you was with the other king of Knicks Twitter. You was with our guy, Ben, still at the game, man. Like
Zoolander himself.
I mean, at the not the game.
Yeah.
At the,
Before we get into that, I just want thumbs
Yeah.
up, thumbs down on the new Batman. Like how we feeling? I seen people in the theaters today. No spoilers. Spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna kill you for those of you guys that are listening, either on the live stream or will be listening to this later. But how did you feel about that and the experience in general?
No spoilers for sure. I feel like the movie was way too long.
I think you might have went mute, bro.
Yeah, you might have went muted on that,
Yeah,
bro.
muted.
Yeah, it's bad radio.
We good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you good, bro. You good.
It's crazy because I tried to listen to my microphone. I did all that to hook up my mic for no reason. I'm talking on my AirPods and it's picking up the AirPods mic. But yeah, no, I just feel like it was a really, really long movie, bro. Like, I had to like catch a second wind to watch it. Like,
Those are the
all right,
worst.
Nah,
yeah, but it was good though. Like, there's nothing worse than a long bad movie. It was a good movie. It just could have been a little bit shorter.
how do we feel about intermissions during movies? Like, we gotta start doing that shit like Broadway. Like, if your movie is more than 2.5 hours, like you gotta have some intermissions in there. Somebody gotta get some refreshments, some
Hop
bread.
out the emergency
That's
exit,
like-
hit the
Yeah.
blunt real quick, come back in, right?
Yeah,
Facts. It's only right. Yeah, because even like after we walked out or whatever, and Ben was like, "Yo, that's like the longest I've gone without touching my phone in a really long time." And I was like, "Yo, facts." I was thinking the exact same thing. Like,
Was it like
I
a
was
full
locked
3
in
hours?
for, like, bro, it was a full 3 hours. No exaggeration. It's a long ass movie. It's a smooth 170 minutes easily, maybe a little bit shorter than 3 hours, but it's like legitimately a long movie. So prepare yourself. Eat something. Feel me? Use the bathroom, but good movie.
damn. All right, well, from there, I mean, like you said, you are the king of Knicks Twitter right now, so I think we can get into just to some of our rundown stuff. The last 2 games we got stuck playing the new look Sixers. James Harden is healthy as fuck. It looks like he seems to have no issues. The fat suit is gone. We can start with you, Ariel. Like, what are your takeaways from from the Knicks showing versus Philly? How do you feel about Philly's new look roster? What's the upside there? What's the downside there? Like, talk to me.
I like Philly's roster. They look good. I'm a little worried about their backup bigs. Paul Millsap was not it. He was kind of getting killed by whoever the Knicks had in. Quickly was getting to the basket. RJ
Yeah,
was
that won't
getting
go
to the
well.
basket whenever Millsap was in. Everybody was getting to the basket when Millsap was in. And then I think they just signed DeAndre Jordan now, which I don't. That's probably
I
going to
don't
be
know
even
how he
worse.
keeps getting jobs. Shout out to him,
Uh,
but
I
Son,
respect him. I respect that he keeps getting contracts. I respect that he keeps getting paid, but
He
he don't
really might
deserve
be the
them.
best. He really might be the best teammate in the NBA because yeah, he
He
see
has to be.
like like he got Jared Allen traded somehow like that was a thing. I'm like it feels like a figment of my imagination that there was just like yeah DJ's our guy, bro. We don't need him. Like there's the Dallas the Clippers thing, Blake Griffin, JJ Redick, the whole team. He's like yeah, DeAndre Jordan must have like I don't know if he has like the best weed in the NBA or what it is, but like he just stayed with a job, bro.
he's good vibes, and I feel like he's good at cards. I
He's got to be. He's got to
Great
be.
Bouye
feel
player,
like
Bouye
DeAndre
player.
Jordan, he play a mean spades hand. So you got to keep him on.
Um, nah, but yeah, Harden looks good, man. He and Embiid they fit like almost seamlessly. They both get to the free throw line like an annoyingly amount. Those games were really long just because they got to the free throw line so much. But yeah, as far as the Knicks go, I mean, any takeaway, I think you got to start with RJ, just how he's been playing lately. I think it's pretty obvious that he's made like a significant leap. You just watch the way he's running the pick and roll, and he's hitting Mitch on lobs, hitting him on dump offs. Then he's hitting the weak side corner for threes. He's drawing a ton of fouls himself. He's getting to the pull up jumper when defenses go under screen. So like overall, I think that's the biggest thing with the Knicks, and it's kind of what you wanted to see during the last like 20 games or whatever it is down the stretch.
Sean, I'll throw the question to you. Same thing, like Sixers last two games. How do you feel about them? And then what are your takeaways from the Knicks in terms of that? And then I will apologize to you for my RJ takes right after you finish this.
My guy, my guy. Wow, we love to see it. Um, as far as the Sixers, I mean, like they're cool. They're cool. I'm not impressed.
They don't move
I
you.
don't think they don't move me. I'm not really moved by any team that plays a back to back with us and is trail for like majority of the game twice. Like, like yeah, they won, but like we're not good. We're really bad. And nothing about it, like, besides Joel Embiid shooting 30 free throws, nothing about what they do says, oh, like outside of James Harden and Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey's nice. Tobias Harris is like a max contract player that plays like he's on the MLE. So I mean, that's gonna mean something in a 7-game series, bro. Like their bench, like all that stuff, like that's gonna be important. So it's like, are we gauging them? Like, are we their barometer? Because if that's the case, then that's already an issue for them. We're the 12th seed, so like they're gonna have to compete with those other teams at the top of the East, and it's like if you can be in a game with us, man, that doesn't discredit the fact that they beat us. They took care of us. We lost both of those games by double digits the same way, but we lose every game by double digits the same way. So it's just like I'm not very moved by the Sixers. I'm sure they'll gel more. James Harden and Joel Embiid is an elite duo, 100%. That's a dangerous pick and roll threat. And if Joel Embiid starts hitting threes in a certain game, it's a dangerous pick and pop threat as well. But I mean, outside of that, like Tyrese Maxey getting his every once in a while. What else? Like, I mean, go ahead, beat me with Matisse Thybulle, bro. Go ahead, I dare you. So, I'm not too moved by them. For us, like I said, we suck. It's over. Season's over. It's in the tank. It's an unintentional tank. It's kind of crazy how it happened, but we're here now. It's over. We can't make the play in. Oh shit! You scared the shot of me. I was like, what the hell is going on? This DNB is nuts. But we can't make the play in. You feel me? Like it is what it is for that. So it's curtains. But we just gotta enjoy the RJ masterclasses we're gonna continue to get. And 30 points, 7 assists, 6 boards. He's showing up every night. He's doing it in a variety of ways. And it seems like now the franchise is like in the words of Zion Williamson, I think this is RJ's team. So it's like that's what we're seeing. That's how we're seeing him operate. The confidence level he's out there playing with, man. Y'all know I've always loved RJ. So to see him playing with this kind of confidence level at this like high effectiveness is like wow, like it's beautiful. He's out there with Joel Embiid and James Harden feeling like he's the best player on the floor. He's like ISOing and size up Joe. I'm like, yo, who is this guy, bro? It's beautiful. Just being who I knew he was capable of. So at this point, it's just what we get from RJ. Hopefully Mitch is healthy and we get Mitch and Jericho. We're getting them backing each other up. It just happened to be against the MVP both times. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like DeAndre Ayton. That'll be nice. I want to see what they can do against some competition, but I don't necessarily want it to be Joel Embiid every time. So I'm interested to see how DeAndre Ayton matchup goes with them. DeAndre Ayton and JaVale McGee, that's probably one of the better, starting and then backup bigs that are in the league. So Mitch and Jericho matching up with them is going to be cool. We just got to look at little things like that. Hopefully we stop watching Alec Burks play 30 minutes a game. I'm no longer allowing this team to affect my mental health based on the results of the games because we've won once since February. I mean, once since January. So why would I do that to myself?
Before we do move on though, Raz, you can check your message. I just sent you the RJ Barrett apology form. The floor is yours, brother. You could. There's crow to eat.
Oh, all right. Make sure y'all please. I need that.
I got you.
All right. So here, let me start off by saying the first 2 years. It's been 2 years, right? I mean, 3 years since he's been in the league, but the first 2 years, RJ Barrett was very inconsistent. He had very specific things I needed him to work on. I was the first to drive him to various locations when a star was disgruntled in a trade. I was gassing up. I would have drove him to Portland. I would have drove him to Washington. I would have drove him to a bunch of places to get, star type talent. This year started off a little rough for me as well on the RJ train. Like he came out gangbusters. And then he went super cold. Like he was out there looking like me in an NBA game, like just 1 for 12 shooting performances, getting cooked on defense. And then come to find out the man was sick, got it, all that happened. And since he's been back, he's been running the pick and roll, which was not something I thought he could do. His playmaking is improving as he's, coming down the line this season. The shooting was still a little streaky for my taste, but it's gotten better every year. He's gotten better shooting the ball every single year. Free throws, I can still harp on him not being able to hit free throws, but he knows he needs to work on free throws. And I'll say this: we know he needs to work on shit, and he keeps working on it. So I cannot be mad. Like the work ethic, he has a little bit. He's a lunatic. He's gonna keep shooting that jump shot if it's not falling. I have to respect it at this point because I see what he's doing out there. He's working hard. He's the only person playing both sides of the ball some nights. And I'm going to take a lot of shit. Like once we clip this up, this apology is going to go viral because a lot of people are looking for me to apologize and send that RJ form. I'm not going to send it yet. I might send it at the end of the season. Like look, everybody.
What you holding out for, bro?
What am I holding out for?
What you waiting for?
What you waiting for, bro?
I'm gonna wait till the season end. I will in the off season. I will put out all RJ Barrett comms. My apologies to everyone. The kid has it, right? Like I'm still not sold on him being a number one option, right? Like that's
not really a negative.
No, it's not a negative. It's not a negative right now. But people early in the year were saying that he was an untouchable trade piece. I didn't believe that. I don't know if I still believe he's an untouchable trade piece, depending on who comes available. But he's not the first one I'm shipping now. He's literally the last person to go.
Who? Like, where's that threshold for you? Because for me, RJ's untouchable, but he was before the season. So where's that threshold?
I don't know. This is like we gotta be talking like a top 15 player.
Yeah, it'd have to be a top 15 player in the league at this point for me to ship RJ off.
But yeah, I don't want to have
So
I don't even have that conversation.
Who's the 15 best player in the league? I don't think I'm trading RJ for the 15 best player in the league.
I don't.
All right, so
I'm not trading a.
Who's the worst player? Who's the worst player you'll trade RJ for?
I wouldn't trade RJ. So you got to ask somebody else.
All right. Well,
yeah. No, I don't want to entertain. No, we're not going to entertain that question. We're not going to entertain.
I'm not trading RJ. Like RJ's going to be a Knicks for life.
Yeah. Next question.
Bro, 21 years old, two-way stud. My man has like 10
two-way
national
stud.
TV 30 pieces.
Yes. No. Yes,
He's a
he
two-way
and
step, bro. I know you watch both Sixers games. Their entire offense was get RJ Barrett away from James Harden. Like that's the level of respect. Like he demands that level of respect. He does a
Oh yeah,
really good job.
but my thing is, if it comes down to Alec Burks or RJ Barrett guarding me, then yes, I'm gonna take the switch with Alec Burks. I'm James Harden. Like it's less work. That's clearly his mantra.
John
But
Morant was tearing the entire league up and had like 9 straight 30-point games and ran into RJ Barrett and shot 9 for 27.
RJ's work rate, like just in general, is special, and I think that's really hard to quantify. But like especially for somebody who's just like, yeah, even like I don't know what RJ's peak scoring output might be in his career. Like, do I see him getting to like possibly 25 points per game? It's possible. I think he probably could at the trajectory that he's currently on. But like yeah, his motor defensively and like he's I've noticed this about him from a young age, just watching him in prep. But yeah, he's always down to take that challenge, and whenever the game's on the line, and he's looking for he has that mentality to really be a wing stopper, to where he's just like, oh, okay, that dude on the other side, we need to stop him. I'm willing to take that challenge and cover him while I'm still getting mine on the other side. So, but yeah, RJ in general, man, the leap he's taken is a leap that I've always this is kind of the player that I expect him to be. I just think just his overall skill set and package is, like I said, you can trade him, but unless you get in, yeah, like matter of fact, I'm not going to go down that route again. But I just I just think in terms of like his skills, and I think for RJ, who he's not the most explosive athlete, but I think he's gotten a lot more comfortable playing in tight spaces and playing with guys. And I think his herky jerky game, and I think his ability, like his rim finishing has improved, and the shot making has also been really consistent lately. So yeah, man, I think RJ is, those type of wing players are a dime a dozen. They're not really they're really actually hard to find out there, and you're actually just you need guys like RJ. So I think moving on though to the next question we had on the actual um rundown, just in terms of the future of this team. Obviously this team is going nowhere. We were just looking at the tankathon odds before we got on here. I don't know what needs to happen for them to get the best odds. We were talking about how we might need to send some Muslim dudes to Adam Silver's office to make sure the Knicks get like a top 3 pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Whatever we gotta do to
we
get
need
that.
brother moves on. I'm about to
Yeah, you know what I'm
put the
saying?
call in, man.
Respectfully, respectfully. But before we do get to Julius in his own right, just speaking about the future of the front court, because I think that is where there's a major just glut even coming into this year. And like you guys said, yeah, Jericho Sims has been when he has played, he's flashed signs even in the summer league. Sean, last time we had you on here, we talked about him. We spoke about him last time, just about how just how athletic he runs the court like a gazelle. So it was super impressive guarding Embiid in the paint, and he actually, like, for the rampage that Embiid has been on, just running through the league. But there's some possessions. You could clip some possessions of Jericho Sims making his life difficult, which and on this current roster, um what do they have? Like 4 or 5 bigs that are under contract for next year. Not even including whatever happens with Mitch. So we're gonna get into like I did put that as well. Just line in the sand for Mitch's contract. I think even as Mitch has gotten further away, the conditioning has improved. He's looked more like the Mitch we've seen in previous years, and regained some of that form and elite rim protection. Um, but yeah, for you at least, Ariel, we'll throw it back to you. When it comes to prioritizing the future of the front court, there are a lot of pieces in there. Obviously, I think we would all say we would boot Nerlens Noel with it as soon as possible, just to get him off this roster. But just in terms of fit, and even when we have seen the Obi and Julius, which I think Obi's kind of not really to his credit, but he's just always kind of been outside looking in of the rotation. Even like I think just energy wise, to where he's like he plays so damn hard every single minute that he's on the court that you just love to see him get extended minutes whenever he can. But yeah, go so for you, Ariel. When it comes to just, I guess, the stock market, when it comes to who would you prioritize the most, and when it comes down to Mitch's future contract, what would you feel about that as well?
When it comes to like the front court, just in general, I have a lot of questions. Like, the Knicks should probably start building this team around RJ, the way things are heading and the way he's playing. So the way the roster is currently constructed, they don't really have a stretch big option unless you're like counting Taj Gibson and like his three corner threes that he's made this year. But like even including Julius, like his shooting has dropped off like tremendously. Like teams don't really close out to his 3 point shot anymore. Obi's around 22% from three. Like teams are cheating way off of him to help on like RJ's drives and his penetration. And Mitch, he provides the lob threat, but like other than RJ and Rose, nobody else is really giving him lob attempts. So I don't know. I feel like the way the bigs are like the bigs and the kind of backcourt aren't really matching up right now. And you, in your mind, like when you're trying to build like a theoretical team around RJ, do you really want to cut off for a second? Am I good?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
I'm good. Oh, okay. My
Yeah,
fault.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're
But
good.
I was saying, like, if you're building like a hypothetical like roster around RJ, you kind of want at the big position because you want to open up the paint for him. That's his biggest strength. And Julius, Obi, and Noel, those four guys, even Sims, if you want to count him in there. Um, Teams aren't really respecting them outside of a certain. I mean, so my biggest question is just what are they going to try to do to kind of tool the roster? And I think with Mitch and his contract, if you're looking at kind of similar caliber players, you see like Robert Williams or like Rashawn Holmes. You can argue both of those guys are probably better than Mitch, but I probably wouldn't go higher than like 14 mil a year. Probably like 4 years, 14. Even then, it's a little shaky. He has the injury concerns and his play does wane up and down a lot. But when he's on, he's on. But I don't know. His contract is a little tricky. If I had to guess, he's probably not going to be a Knick next year, and he's probably gets like signed and traded to like Detroit or Dallas.
Same question for you, Sean. What do you think in terms of that?
I mean, I hope not. I do see some writing on the wall for things like that, but I really would hate to see Mitch go. I love Mitchell Robinson. I have ever since we drafted him. I think Knicks basketball is better and more fun when he's on the floor. Um,
I agree with
I
you.
would give Mitch, I would give Mitch 15 mil if I had to. Like I would give him 4 years, 60. I think it's fair. Um, I think it's on the high end of what he might command or whatever, or like but I mean, it's just the player that Mitch is when he is right. He got off to a slow start with the condition this year and everything, but the impact, and I also feel like he's barely scratched the surface. I don't want to get into what a war criminal Tom Thibodeau is, but I hope he won't be here. And I hope the next coach allows Mitchell Robinson to be a little bit more of a basketball player. Um, we've seen him with the, shooting the threes or whatever. And I'm not saying you got to come out and let him put up 40, but, let me see a mid range jumper or something. Let me see him take one from the top of the key when teams don't respect it. And then beyond that, asking even less. I keep citing this, but it's sad that I only have one thing to point to. But that play where Plumlee was guarding him and he like faked the dribble handoff, went between the legs, and then Euro stepped and dunked. Like that was only one dribble. It's not like we're asking him to come run the offense. Like that's literally one dribble. He's able to get to the basket and finish with a dunk. And that's another wrinkle in the offense where teams can't necessarily overplay the dribble handoff now. But like that would require a coach to be imaginative and allow other things to happen. So, a lot of people blame Mitch for not being involved enough in the offense or not having enough offensive game without really acknowledging the fact that he's not given the opportunity to do so. So, I mean, I would love to see him get that 15. I think he's a great paint anchor. I think he does a great job switching, all of that stuff. And I think that he adds to us, the vertical spacing. The offensive rebounding is like damn near second to none. So it's just like, a lot of things that are important that I think get taken for granted. And, hopefully he's able to be more consistent and more healthy. But I would definitely give Mitch 15 here. I don't want to lose him.
The thing is too is who you're replacing him with. That matters as well.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, it's just like with Obi in this front court right now, they've made him into a catch and shoot player that can't catch and shoot. So that's kind of where we are with it right now. Like he's not being used to like in his current role, he's one of the most useless players on the roster right now, unfortunately, and that sucks because he brings that energy and he is an exciting player, and we would love to see him get those minutes. But as currently constructed, he's doing really much nothing for us. Julius, like y'all said, his shooting has tanked off from last year, which I mean, kind of expected. Maybe not to this level of falling, but like the regression was going to be a thing for me. Mitchell Robinson, I am a huge Mitch fan, but I can see somebody sending him that poison pill contract and him signing that because there's going to be a threshold in which at some point you can't pay that. And I think, if it gets up to about 18 mil, 19 mil for Mitchell Robinson, we have to kind of kiss him goodbye and try and see, obviously what Jericho Sims has and try and, replace him with something either in free agency or the draft. And it stinks because Mitch is a gem that we found in the second round, and the Knicks have done a awful job of retaining talent that they've identified, the little bit of talent that they have identified. I just don't know if we can pay, that absorbent contract for him just because of his limitations as a player.
Yeah, and I think just in terms of like where the Knicks at, like they should. It'll be interesting to see what happens because I think they should have an extremely active offseason in free agency, the signing trade market, and even during the draft because as currently constructed, this team does not fit. And like you did mention, Ariel, just in terms of building that future roster around a guy like RJ, who we would look at as one of the blue chip assets on this team. But I think just in terms of like needing additional guard play, opening up more minutes for a guy like Cam, who we will get to in a second as well. But I will actually ask you this, Raz. How would you describe the Julius Randle experience this season? We did shout out to my homie Anf. We did the Julius Randle film room episode last year. And it's been night and day. I think when we talk about Julius, as and even there's some regression that probably should have been baked into what he did last year, just in general, just to be fair. But also just the way the team is currently constructed also does play towards some of his more frustrating tendencies and just asking him to or running himself a little too thin when it comes to shot creation. So floor is yours on Randall's. Like where are you at on that? I know on a night to night basis that has been an adventure to be kind.
So I mean, Julius has taken some heat this year, deservedly so, right? I think the way Knicks fans turned on him so quickly this year was a little bit shameful. Sean, you are one of those guys. You turned on him very quickly.
Did I know? I'll let you finish.
Yeah, all right, we'll get into it, but I think obviously he's regressed. This team got comfortable with what he did last year and decided that this probably could work again, which the rest of us knew probably not so much, right? Like we needed to upgrade the roster in certain aspects because now Julius Randle, the way he played last year, that's all on everybody's scouting report. They see what he has, what his strengths are, and they see what his weaknesses are. Motherfucker can't pass out of a double team, and he shouldn't be.
Pause. He can pass. He don't like passing out of double teams. He can pass when he wants to. I've seen.
No. Maybe like he can. He's not a bad playmaker, right? For his position, but this team does him no favors in terms of the way it's constructed. Like there has never been a team in the history of the NBA that needed a point guard more than these New York Knicks. Like Julius Randle bringing up the ball and initiating the offense, or Alex Burks bringing up the ball and initiating the offense has been one of the worst experiments I've seen this year, and we keep going back to it. I think Julius Randle, at the end of the day, he's still going to be a walking 20 and 10 because he's just a freak of nature. But we have to get it to a point now where it's an efficient 20 and 10 and where there's somebody orchestrating the offense and getting him the ball where he needs to. If he's going to be on this roster going forward, we need a point guard. I mean, we need a point guard in general. Like that's a blanket statement. But we're going to need somebody who's going to be able to get our best players and our best scorers the ball where they need it and not have them bringing it up from baseline to baseline.
I mean, yeah, Sean, get in there because I don't know how your feelings were on Randall, but even I've seen some of the the post game shows, man. Like some of those games are extremely frustrating, from Julius. But how would you just grade his season in general?
If I had to grade his season, I would probably say I'd probably give him a D plus. I'd give him either a D plus, maybe a C minus. And when you say that I turned on him, I find that and turned on him. Not only that you said I turned on him, you said I turned on him quickly, and I think that that's interesting because I feel like I was one of the people who was like really sticking up for Julius for the most part, and I was like, yeah, he's not shooting the same, but like he can turn it around. And I was like, okay, I feel like you guys are killing him unnecessarily. I remember earlier this year, I was like, like you can kill him, like he's not playing as well, but don't pull out the bazooka, just pull out the 9. I was like, some of y'all are accusing him for everything that's going wrong with the team. Like, I was giving him grace, but then it got to a point where like even in that point where I turned on him or whatever, it wasn't even really like it was more of me just speaking from a place of pain and hurt. Like, hey, bro, last year you really cared. You cared so much that you were a hero to me and to us. We serenaded you. We did all this. We chanted MVP for you. We don't just be chanting MVP for people, not for real. How many, think about it. Over the past, 20 years, how many people have gotten legitimate MVP chants in the Garden?
3.
A couple mellows.
Yeah. 20 years? Actually, yeah, I was gonna say it's 2022, so we can't even say. Yeah, Amari got him. Amari got that for like half
that first year, that first half season. Yeah.
And we loved Amari that first half season. We ain't never had nothing. We were starving. We loved Amari, so it's like for Julius to be able, we really were behind Julius 100%. And I feel like, and one thing that was big for me is had it just been the shooting regressing, I could have lived with that. But the issue for me was effort. Like, you don't care as much. Like, you're not rotating defensively. You're, not getting back on deep. Like, the little things, like, this backdoor switches, our defense is falling apart. You getting on the podium and telling me, yeah, we're not the same defense we used to be. Well, yeah, you haven't checked the backdoor cut in 6 months. So, yeah, we might not be the same defense we used to be. We make screens. He's letting RJ play both people on the screen and sitting back and watching. And it's just like, bro, yeah, that to me is unacceptable. I can live with your shot not falling. It happens. It's basketball. Those things adjust. You may regress, whatever. Cool. I expected that a little bit. But for you to be out there simply looking like you don't, and I didn't give a shit about the thumbs down, to be honest, because I thought that game people were booing him unnecessarily in the second quarter for a shot he missed, and I was just like, that's a little wild. So him thumbing him down at the end of the game, it's not like I saw the thumbs down and I was like, oh, I hate Julius now. No. But it's just like, bro, you have to effort is non-negotiable. That's what I've been saying about Julius all year. So that's why I feel like I'm giving him a D plus. A C minus maybe because of those last 2 weeks before the All-Star break where he, didn't want to be traded. So I appreciate that and what he showed us there. At least we know that guy is still in there. But yeah, D plus for me, man. It's like you were a second team All NBA, you were the MIP, you won MIP and said, oh, am I allowed to win the award twice in a row? And I was so hyped for this year, he's about to go crazy. And then you came in and you just played basketball like you didn't give a shit, bro. And I don't know. As a leader of the team, I don't think he was a good leader. I don't know what was going on with him not doing press conferences all that time. I don't get into all of that, but it did become weird. It's one thing if you don't do them at all, maybe it's a personal thing, but it did become weird when out of the 11 games we played and we lost 9 of them, you did 2 press conferences. That's a little weird. It's a little strange. And that's not necessarily leadership. RJ's up there no matter what, taking all the bullets. This is RJ's team. I don't have anything against Julius Randle. I still believe in him. I'm less emotionally detached than I was before. He regained some of my emotional attachment by playing at a level that looked like he cared and allowing me to see the guy who I was like, bro, I was literally leading the charge of you're not a Knicks fan if you don't vote for Julius Randle to go to the All-Star game, all of that. I was right there yo, he's got to go. This year, I was like, yo, y'all better not vote. He didn't earn that. I kept telling Knicks account, stop telling me to vote. Stop telling me to vote for him. I'm not going to. So it is what it is. I don't think I turned on him quickly, though. I think, you just got to be honest about what you're seeing.
So, no, and I think that's fair. Obviously, there's honesty to be involved, in his effort, but I think I think, maybe it wasn't the quickness of your turn. I think it was the full repositioning of your position, right? Like going from vote for him to nah.
You gotta call it how you see it, though.
Yeah,
You
no,
gotta,
you do have to call it how you see it. He hasn't played like he played last year, and that's 100% facts. But there are people out there that make it seem like he is literally the only issue on this team, and he's the burger, and that's why we're at where we're at. And I think people aren't looking at it the right, like, in totality. Like, this team wasn't set up to for success at all.
but yeah, I think moving a little off of Julius, like I said, the roster just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Julius needs to. I've seen Julius run pick and rolls before. Like, it's not this foreign concept on the Knicks. They kind of just don't use him that way. That the way the lineups he's in, it just doesn't work with another center as well. Clogging up the actual like dunker spot and actual lane. So, like I said, they have six centers legitimately, six players who legit need minutes at the five at some point on this team. It just doesn't make much sense. So they need to go hard in the trade market, get a guard, another forward. Ariel, swinging this over to you. Because I would just love another one of these guys, like hashtag let the kids play. Raz, we saw him ball out in summer league. As far as Emmanuel Quickly goes, I saw a funny joke which kind of made me laugh. Shout out to the Quickly and Maxi backcourt. And I'm a Quickly fan, but it's made me laugh. One of my homies, shout out to my homie Dre on Twitter. He was like, he said Quickly it's a USPA version of Maxi. I think he's better than that, but that did make me laugh. I think Quickly hasn't had a chance to really, spread his feet or, play off ball to two damn fucking superstars, to be honest. But long term, Ariel just Quickly he's a shot hunter, and I think some people. I think the shot selection can turn some people off, but I think when he's in the game to shoot, and they legitimately need his shooting whenever he is in the game. But from what you've seen, what are your takeaways from Quick this year, Ariel, and like long term? What do you see from him, like when he stabilizes in his career, and where do you see him grading out when it comes to, like, what are we talking, like, is he a high end bench piece starter? Where are you at with Quick right now?
I like Quick a lot. I think I'm probably higher on him than most people are. I think he's made a pretty good leap this year on everything except his shot. I think if he was hitting his shots, I think a lot of people would feel a lot differently about him. The conversation around him is like more about he's not a point guard. He hasn't been able to hit shots, this, that, and the third. But I think it's kind of impressive that he's still been a positive on the court, even though he hasn't been able to hit anything. And I think people have been using that as a negative when it should actually be a positive thing. I think he's shown throughout his entire career, go back to even with his free throw percentage, like he can shoot, and I think eventually he figures it out. Like I'm not really too concerned about it. And the thing is, what makes it a little less concerning is that he's missing catch and shoot threes. Like if you look at his catch and shoot 3-point percentage, last year it was like 45%, give or take, and then like this year it's like 33%. Like he's just missing easy shots, and like I think you kind of bank on him getting back to that level or at least somewhere close. As far as like his playmaking and things like that, I think there are times where like I posted a couple clips this morning where like he missed a couple easy like he had Obi open for a couple dunks and he never made the pass. And I think there are times where like he misses some easy looks, but I don't think it's like he has like bad court vision and he doesn't see the floor well. I think it's just more sometimes he kind of predetermines what he's gonna do. Like there's this one play where he had Obi open for a dunk and like he sees him and he literally tells Obi like, nah, clear out, even though he has him wide open because he has Tobias on him and he wants to like isolate against Tobias. So I just think it's like more of a decision making thing than it is like a bad like court vision thing. Because he did see him. He just like he had his mind set already. And I think he's kind of underrated defensively. If I had to like kind of project who he's gonna be in a couple of years, I think he's like a very like kind of a low end starting point guard, maybe or like a high end bench piece. And I hope people don't take that the wrong way. Like that's a good thing. But I do think on this roster, like he fits really well next to RJ and Julius. And it's kind of disappointing that we haven't seen him get a real shot to start alongside both of them. He's the one like Nick point guard other than Rose that can kind of play on or off the ball and then still defend on the other end. So I don't know why he hasn't really gotten a shot, and we've been subjected to watching Alec Burks struggle at the point guard position. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with IQ.
because Tibbs should be in jail. That's the answer to your question. But like that's,
In
that's
jail.
that man should be in jail. But I think just the pace that Quick plays with is extremely infectious for this team. Like whenever he gets in the game, the pace picks up. The energy is up and down the court. And yeah, man, I think like you said, Tibbs should be in jail. But yeah, where are you at on Quick, Sean?
So Ariel hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, I feel like I'm also one of those, and I'm glad to hear you say that because I know that you're intelligent. So I feel intelligent now. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not tripping. Because yeah, like I mean, he's shot terribly, but like we all know he's capable of shooting. We know from the free throw percentage, we've seen him do it already. Everything else though, he's doing so well, and it's just like and I understand that scoring is the most important part of basketball, and he's a scorer. But like, I mean, the defense has been phenomenal. Like it's been so improved. He was like kind of a liability at times last year, and he managed to completely turn that around this year. He does a great job picking the ball up from damn near full court sometimes. He's in the lanes, he rotates well, all that stuff. And as a playmaker, he's taken strides as well. So I think he hasn't gotten enough credit for his growth. And like you just said, Sean, the pace, like all of that, I feel like even though he's been shooting like absolute shit for like 2 months, we're a better team when he's on the floor. And I feel like you got to ride with him over Alec Burks. Also, unfortunately, I do have to step out, fellas. But thank y'all so much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here. You feel me? It's always great vibes. I'm always down, anytime. It's always an honor to be here. Shout out to the Dry Season podcast.
Sean, it's a pleasure as always. Ben Stiller just followed me. That's fucking insane. But shout out to Ben Stiller. Shout out to you, Sean. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Gang, I
don't know if he's in the chat right now. If you in here, Ben Stiller, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Zoolander is a classic.
While we here, listen, I don't know if y'all got Apple TV. If y'all don't have Apple TV, go get it. It's like $5.99, $4.99, one of the two. It's very attainable. I don't want to hear nothing. So go get Apple TV. Severance. You feel me? You're not a Knicks fan if you don't watch Severance. It's Ben Stiller's show. He directed it. It's a very good show. It's on Apple TV. Check it out. Tell a friend and tell a friend.
We're gonna have to send us a promo pack for that. We got it. We're gonna make it work.
Come on. He just sent the follow. Like, what's up? Like, come on. We got.
I'm watching that as soon as I get off right now, bro. I'm paying the $5, bro.
Real. We gotta push the right things forward, man. Let's make sure we put our guy out there. So let a friend know. Thank you guys so much for having me, man. It's always a pleasure.
Salute, my G. Talk to you soon, my guy.
All right, no doubt. Love, man. Y'all be safe.
You too, bro. But yeah, man, that's fucking insane, bro. Shout out to all of that, man. Ben Stiller, if you in the chat, Dodgeball is also a classic. I've seen that a trillion times.
Ooh, that's a classic,
Yo, come on, bro. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. But I think just in terms of, I did want to. We haven't talked about the boy Grimes as well. I did want to talk about Grimes for a second. Like what have you guys made of Grimes? Obviously, he had the injury recently, but and in general, just grading the 2021 class that the Knicks have got. What would you guys make of what you guys have seen from the rookies when they've been on the court? Because Tibbs kind of has to play he can't play the crusty veterans all the time.
You want to go first, Brad? Or?
Yeah, I could jump in. I mean, look, the boy Grimes, man, like unfortunate injury.
Fucking Gaylord Fokker, bro.
The brand is strong, man. Dry Season podcast. But I think Grimes, the injury is unfortunate. So we spoke about Grimes when he got drafted. Some people that we had on the show, shout out to our brother Denzel. He's very low on the Grimes pack just because it's lost him a lot of money in college basketball betting. But I think Grimes came in and provided the type of play that somebody like Tibbs appreciates, which unfortunately he doesn't see it in Deuce right now, which is confusing, but we'll get to that later. I think Grimes, that catch and shoot ability and just the two-way, like he's playing defense. He's willing to guard the best player on the other team. He's somebody that I felt good about, a fourth into the season, just because it was like, all right, wow, he's going to be able to provide value off the bench. If he's going to be able to start, he can spot start. Tibbs kind of identified that, which he doesn't play the kid, so that was big. I think trying to replicate him in that Reggie Bullock role was where Tibbs kind of saw it, And I think some of these players that we have on this roster are so much different than Reggie Bullock, and maybe a little bit better in terms of what they can do on the offensive side. So I think, some of the offense just needs an overhaul, and especially for our youth, because they can't continue to play in this system.
I'm with you. I was so when it came to the 2021 draft, I kind of binge watched everyone as soon as they all made their picks, and I did like this really extensive thread. I watched like a bunch of his college games for Grimes, at least, well, for all of them, but specifically for Grimes. And I came away I was kind of confused because I was wondering how I hadn't heard of him, and he kind of slipped to 25 in my opinion. He seemed like immediately like he would be like a pretty productive player. He had the immediate like typical 3-and-D kind of, you know, archetype. And I was pretty high on him. I'm still pretty high on him, and I think he's kind of shown a little bit more than that. He can be a little bit more than just a regular 3-and-D guy. Like, I think the term 3-and-D is a little bit lazy at times. I think like when people are saying 3-and-D, like they talk about a guy like Reggie Bullock, but then they're also talking about a guy like Michael Bridges, which they're like on two different kind of planets when it comes as a player. But with Grimes, I think I think he can pass a little bit more than he gets credit for. And I think that he can put the ball on the floor, and I think it's just his ball handling. He's not too confident in it yet. And I think you give him another season or two, and we'll start to see a little bit more of his like off the dribble game. But the way that he's able to get his shot off so like effortlessly is kind of elite, and his high release point makes it so that like defenses have to be on him. They can't stray too far off him, or they're gonna give up a three. So overall, I think with Grimes, they really hit on that pick, and I think he's already like kind of a starter level at well, how do I say this? He's a starting level shooting guard at the NBA, and that's saying a lot for a rookie because he can defend and hold his own. Do you want me to continue with the other guys as well, or?
Yeah, how you feel on the class in general? 'Cause
Yeah.
I think they hit on this
Yeah.
class, and
They definitely hit on this class, and even with Rokas, who's overseas, he's like one of the best European young guys.
I
Like
was
one
gonna
of the,
bring up, I was
yeah,
gonna bring him up. Yeah, man.
yeah. So I'm excited to see what they do with him this offseason because they could bring him over or give him another season. But that's also kind of why I wish we got to see more of Deuce now in these last 20 games because I think what you see from Deuce can also like help you decide on what you want to do with Rokas if you want to give him another season away and kind of just from a contract standpoint, maybe you want Rokas' contract to kick in and after next season because you want that cheap contract on the books when the Knicks are like finally good. So it's just a lot of like things that we would learn from watching Deuce play right now. And Sims, we've kind of talked on Sims already. He's very raw and we've seen it, but he does have these flashes where you're just like, oh shit, he can kind of do some things. So I mean, overall, I think you got to grade it like at a minimum like a B plus. I don't really see how you can go any lower than that.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks didn't do. We're so shell shocked with Knicks draft picks over the past couple of years that we sometimes are cautiously either optimistic or just ridiculously insane about either where our players are. Like, we'll see some Knicks fans will see a draft pick hit a jump shot and now he's untouchable, right? Like we sometimes fall in love with some of our picks because we've been starved so much. But I think the front office drafting wise, and then just identifying even some of this like unrestricted free agent talent that they have like overseas and stuff like that, like they've been doing their job in terms of identifying some of that. It's just now getting it into the fucking building and on the court. And I don't know if obviously Tibbs is going to be the coach that's going to do that. We may need to go in a different direction, but it also hurts because it's like Tibbs for that 1 year gave us that identity. We had a kind of a calling card. We were going to play defense and we was going to dirty up the games. Like, then we completely changed the roster from what Tibbs does well, and we expect him to still coach it the same way. And I think it's just one of those things where the disconnect happened between front office and coaching. But in terms of just the draft class and some of the youth on this roster, I think we're in a good spot.
I mean, yeah, I think just like I don't know and like any Knicks fans out there who like not familiar with Rokas. Because like Raz, we also call him one of his best performances in summer league. I think it was the Cavs game over here. But yeah, Rokas is a really intelligent, high IQ type of player. Always unselfish, makes that next read, extra pass all the time. He can shoot. off the dribble. I think that's probably one of his best skills that he's actually developed a little bit. He's shown flashes of that overseas as well. I think he's going to be somebody who can play on and off the ball. Just a real, tight, solid decision maker that this team, kind of needs, those type of connective tissue type of players. And I think he should fit really well next to some of these other guys on this team. But I think, yeah, man, I think just wrapping us up a little bit on this episode real quick. I did want to hit the Walt the Clyde Frazier, the favorite Walt Clyde Frazier catchphrases. So I mean, we did speak about it on previously. But Raz, I don't know, what did you say was your favorite Walt, I mean Clydeism in general?
I mean, just anytime he gets to use the word neophyte, it's incredible content, man, because it's just like, dazzling
there's so many great ones,
it's like
bro.
dazzling play by the neophyte. What does he say? Precocious, precocious neophyte. It's just like, first of all, what the fuck does that mean, Clyde? Like, it's like, I did all right for myself. Like, I'm well versed in the English language. Like, some of that shit that Clyde be getting off, man. Like, they put some of those words in front of me, I couldn't spell them, and I wouldn't be able to tell you what they mean. But when he's painting them in during that next to Breen, like it sounds like poetry, and you kind of get what he's saying. And I'm still not sure if neophyte's a real word, but here we are. Here we are.
I've never heard that word used like in any context outside of a Knick game, bro.
Yeah.
Only
You grabbed it like 5 times a game.
there's so many classics, bro. Posting and toasting, you swishing and dishing, what percolating,
Astounding and astounding.
Feline quickness. There's so many damn dishing it. What is it? Yeah, but not bounding and astounding.
Sure.
Hustling and bustling. I think Clyde, Clyde is truly like Dr. Seuss of his era, man. Spinning and winning, stumbling and bumbling. Shout out to Clyde, man. That's one of my goals, man. Go like a dream interview. Would love to do that. But yeah, man. I think that's gonna wrap us up. We're gonna try and get out here under an hour. Ariel, my guy, it was a pleasure speaking it with you. My guy, chopping it up. Definitely got to get you back on here
for sure
in the future. Talk more. More Knickerbockers, get your NBA insight. Let the people know if you got any projects where they can follow you. Anything you want to leave the people with before we got out of here, bro.
Just follow me on Twitter. Everything I do, I post it on Twitter. So at @Pacheco NBA. Just follow me on Twitter, and anything I do, yeah, you'll see it there. So.
Got you, bro. Raz, final takes, man. Take us out of here, bro.
Oh man, another great episode. This is episode 70. We're definitely knocking them out. Shout out to Draft Season Podcast. Ariel, again, thank you for popping on with us, showing some of that knowledge. Keeping it real New York. I love when we get a New York native on. Running these streets for a while. Yeah, running these streets for a while. There's a lot of transplants out here, man. So whenever we can run into somebody born and bred, like it's refreshing. And your work is great. And we're gonna keep checking for you on that, promoting you where we can, and whenever you have any time, you're welcome on the show. So we do appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is definitely a lost season for the Knicks as we wrap this up. We're gonna need, like you said, to send Brother Mazon and all of those good brothers to the office. Adam Silver, we need the frozen envelope. We probably need that Jaden Ivey pack. But Draft Season Podcast will be back with some NFL stuff, some NBA draft stuff, some March Madness stuff, and we're signing off. Thank you for rocking with us.